Good morning, Breakfast Club family. This is Mark Stevens with our host, Joe Shoup. Top of the morning to you. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Looking for a great day today. Don't forget about tomorrow is the start of the week, so get ready today to start for tomorrow. Got some things to share with you today. The day is what? February the 12th, 2015. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. For the new people, welcome to the Breakfast Club. For the other family, welcome back. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it right over to Joe, and we're going to get started and share some things with you. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I am fantastic and amazing and ready to hear some good things and move on with my day.
Well, the good news is that I worked with Jennifer last night, and everything is set. I'll say this, and men will get mad at me, but it's nice to work with a woman who knows what she's doing. Women seem to have be a little smarter than men, so let me just say it that way.
You know what, Joe? I've always said that, and I've gotten beat up.
Well,
that's what I believe. That's all.
I do too. I think you can look at that academically and see when you're in school that there are the percentage of smart girls is higher than smart boys.
Yeah.
Either way, it's great because Jennifer is an attention to detail person, and we worked together last night, and while she was working with the programmers and had them move everything while we were on the phone and get it fixed. So, be a good idea for everyone to delete their cookies and then go to your website, and you will see everything is perfect now. You'll see the new front page, the way it's set up. You should not have any scrolling when you open the screen. You should see the capture page or form, the opt-in form in the beginning right in front of you. You don't have to scroll to see it. It asks for one piece of information. The second piece is optional. It takes you to the video, which begins to play. On the video now, you will see a schedule interview button. And we have one tiny thing to fix on the back end. That is just one slide that has to change. I won't even tell you what it is. If you identify it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But it is on the back end, and it's not really likely or visible, so not likely to see it. So one of those will be changed today, one of the slides. So, but there is a schedule interview button, and you're able to schedule that without even looking at the whole thing, which we don't like, but the schedule button has to be there. It's on a timer, and we had it go live immediately when they opened it up. Here's why. Just for those of you who question it. So let me say this. A capture form, in other words, an opt-in form for an interview. At the end, it'll give them the ability after they listen to the presentation to schedule their interview. If we were to put the button on the back end and have it appear after 30 minutes, let's say, if a person did not schedule at that time and decided later they were going to do it tomorrow or later tonight, or they got interrupted and they shut the presentation down and came back later, they wouldn't be able to see that button until they got to the back end. It's on a timer. It's not on a slide. So it would take about 35 minutes for them to see the schedule interview button every time they went back. So I made a decision to put it on the front end so that it's there all the time, which simply means a person, without watching the whole thing, actually could schedule an interview. So it'll be your responsibility when you're connecting with someone to ask them that question up front. Did you see the entire video or just a portion? You will need to ask that up front. And then you can continue on with your dialogue with them. But I would want to know that myself. I would clearly want to know. And so I am very excited about it because it is perfect. I don't know that you need to see it. I could do a screen share. However, for those of you that have the Tools Rock and have that funnel, you'll be able to see it. So what I'm thinking is you just get a browser there and go look at it, and then give me some comments while you're there that you see it. And Bob, you can get a browser. I see you're on there in Maryland, so if you go over there and get another browser, you should be able to see it. Sherry, it's there. Max Bandano, if you go ahead and get another browser and take a look at it, and you'll see the front page is exactly the way we wanted it. I'm excited about that. I don't know if you're watching for questions, Mark. I don't see any. Let me check, see.
There's no question.
Okay, good. So go ahead and do that, and you'll be able to do it. Then we'll get into a couple of things I want to share with you. I'm going to turn my camera off for a minute, Mark. I have to...
Okay.
Excuse me. So let's wait for a couple of chats. Why don't you go? We're going to go over a little bit today about marketing, and I can tell you that you're going to be excited about the information that we're going to share with you today. So,
okay. Well, for those of you that don't have Tools Rock, you can send an email to jpshoop@earthlink.net, and you want to put your name, your email address, your telephone number in the event that he has to call you, and also what you're requesting. I'm requesting to have Tools Rock. I'm requesting to have the LEAD program, which is USA LEAD Club. I'm requesting to be put on the notification list so I can be notified from the Breakfast Club when it's going to be held, and all that types of information. Whatever you request, put that in there. Those 4 things. He needs those 4 things. So he doesn't have to hunt for anything to get back to you, to get the information to you. Because you need Tools Rock to have this funnel. You need Tools Rock to be able to have access to everything that we're talking about. So those that are new and those that don't have it, that are not new, that's where you're going to be able to get it from. So keep that in mind. And then, or either request for the communication class. You know, I need to take the communication class. I want to take it today, the foundational class. Can I get it today? Can I get it tomorrow? What time or whatever? You need to get in touch with Joe to make arrangements for that. That's JP, Joseph Patrick, Shoop, SHOOP, @earthlink.net. And Joe, what's the other one that they can do? It's
the new breakfast club at earthlink.net. The new breakfast club at earthlink.net.
So either one. I was getting ready to say, you know, I was getting ready to say the breakfast club.ws, but I mean .net, but okay. It's the new breakfast club at earthlink.net. So either one will work.
All right, let me, Victor's here, so I'm going to, if you'd like, if we get some comments, would you like me to share the screen? Then I need to get into something. It's very quickly here, but I wanted to make sure we had that. Let's just see, screen, okay. Max, thank you. Professional, okay, so here's what Max is saying. I see it, it looks so awesome. It's clean, professional, sophisticated, and best of all, no scrolling. Can't wait to make this live on my end. It is live on your end, my friend. It is live. Max, fill in the information on the front page and put your name in there, and then on the email, put an email. You don't have to put an email in there. Nah, well, yeah, doesn't matter. You don't have to put it in. Just put your first name in and move forward. And it'll take you to the website, to the video, and then when you get to the video, click on the schedule. You don't have to watch the whole thing, obviously. Click on the schedule interview button and fill that out with an email address that's different from the one you put in Tools Rock. Okay, put in put in your mom's address in there, something that's different from Tools Rock, and then you will see the capture page come up. You will see after you fill that out, click thank you. So you should see all that happen. Okay, and let us know that you did that. And there's Gloria, the page. I'm at a page with opt-in, but I don't see a button to schedule the interview. Well, you just heard the instructions, Gloria. It's not going to be on. You can't schedule it without going and filling out the first part and going to the video. So when you get to the video, that's where it is. Are we supposed to see a timer on our AdTech Worldwide site? There is a timer on there. If you scroll over the video, but you're not going to see it. I don't know what you mean by timer, Matt. You mean the video has a timer. No, it asks you for your last name after you. That's right. It does, Max. When you get to the opt-in page, it says first name, last name, email, phone.
Hey, Joe.
That will do that. Yes, Victor.
I just did what you suggested, and it asked me for my last name immediately.
You did it where?
I went to the page.
Yeah, when you say the page, you have to describe what that means. You mean the front page or after?
Front page. No, I went to the front page. It says put in your first name. I put in my first name and hit submit, and it says please enter your last name.
That did not happen yesterday. Okay, well, I'll put a fake name in there, whatever.
It popped up. It said the message at victor.adtechworldwide.net says please enter your last name.
Yeah, okay, I'll get that fixed. I don't know why it's asking that.
Okay.
That didn't do that yesterday. Let me do it on my end and see.
I get that message. Regardless, I put my last name on the same line, but I think what it means is I got to put something in the email address.
That's the mean from the time we did it, so I have to get a hold of them immediately.
Okay.
I got background noise, Victor.
Yep, sorry.
Let's see. Let me try something here. Well, obviously, if it's on your end, it's on my end as well, so it would have to be. So let me go back to it and just double check. Shouldn't have been there, but obviously it is. Just do something with it, Max, and put it in the that second line. I don't know why they did that. It shouldn't have been there. Somebody changed that. So I'll put mine in here as well. I submitted it last night, and it's submitted fine.
Secondly, I went to the schedule interview page and put in my last name, my email address, and it automatically populated a telephone number. It automatically.
Because you're in the system, that's why.
Well, it populated a telephone number that is not mine.
Because you're in the system, that's why.
Did you hear me?
I did. It said it automatically populated a phone number. That's because it's in the system. And I just did it, and I did not have to submit my last name, but I did submit an email address.
But the telephone number is not my telephone number.
In your back office, that should be the number that's there.
Sorry, but it's not.
Gotcha. All right, well, make a note of that for me and send me that email so I have it and I'll get to them immediately. I don't know why that's happening. It did not do that for me.
Okay.
And it didn't do that for me just now either when all right, let me try one more thing here. Yep, I see. Please enter your last name. See, it didn't do that yesterday. Huh. And if I enter my last name on that line, that won't even matter because it's going to ask me for the next one. Okay, I got it. They will get that done immediately. I will have them, I'll have them take, all right, so there are two issues. That one and the phone number populating back there. Let me do it on mine and see what happens when I do that. Not populating a phone number on my end. Your name is attached to a number somewhere. That's what it is. See, mine's not populating a phone number. It's populating an email address and my name. Whatever you put in there, it's going to put whatever you populated in the beginning. So I don't know what that is, but it's not populating a phone number on my end. If anybody else is experiencing that, please let me know. We're going to have to double check that.
Matt says he had to type in his phone number.
Well, you would type it in. Yeah, you would have to type it in if you were on the actual opt-in page for requesting an interview. Yes, you would have to type a phone number in. That's correct. It should not have populated for Victor. I don't know why it did. If anybody else has populated, let me know. If it did populate, it normally will take it. If you're a member of Tools Rock, that's where it'll take it from.
Now, Gloria says that her last name, she wasn't required to put in her last name except her first name.
What? Did she put an email address in? Because that's what it's asking. It's asking to fill out that next line. Even though it says optional, they made it a requirement. And because the first name is up there, they made it a requirement to put the last name. So they programmed something wrong on that. They changed it because it didn't work that way yesterday. It worked for me last night exactly the way it was supposed to. And the back end worked exactly the way. So somehow after we said perfect, they went and did something else. So I don't know who did that or whatever, but we will get to the bottom of it immediately. Okay, we are already at 20 after, so at least we have that. So you see the layout, you see where it is, you see what's going to happen. I just got to get that cell changed so that it gets you in there without requiring it, and it doesn't pop that first name up. So Victor, it is possible that somewhere in your back office of Tools Rock, since you're a member there, or you filled that out before. Keep this in mind. You have done this before when you've actually tested Tools Rock. If you put in a phone number in there, just a phony phone number just to test it, it probably held on to it. Now, I don't know if you did that. I'm just telling you that it holds on. The name you put in there corresponds with what you did before, and it'll hold on to it. So it may have populated due to the email address or the name. I don't know. We'll check it. If anybody else is experiencing, just put your first name in, put an email address in there. It doesn't matter which one you put in there. Just put something in there that's different from what you've put in there before or different from your Tools Rock back office. Make up one. joe@joe.com. You could do that. Something like that. And when you get to the field that says, okay, enter first name, enter last name, enter email address, enter phone number, see if it populates a phone number. I suspect what has happened, Victor, is that you submitted that before and it held on to it. I don't know that, but that's just a guess.
I'll check it out.
Okay, let's go to a couple of things. I will get that handled. I don't know why that changed. I'm happy and now partially unhappy that it looks like that, but I'm glad that at least we got this covered. So you see, though, the front page is totally different. You should see that now that it's it's now just requiring them a first name. So when that fixed, that will operate properly, because it already has. So we'll have to get to that. But if you notice, the information on there now is much easier to read. It gives them an opportunity to to check out the things that we've listed there without reading paragraphs. So we're good. I'm happy about it. It's clean, as Max says. It's clean as can be. So we should be getting the same amount of people, if not more, in opening emails. This will have nothing to do with it, but what will have to do with it, will we get more people to opt in, since it's a requirement is first name? And I don't know that, but I suspect we will. It's much easier to get them to get here with one name. And we will find out. I know that there are a number of people in social media getting a tremendous response. Email is going to be a little tougher. So my suggestion is that we learn the 21st century technology of communicating and connecting with people through social media and through emails, and all the ways. Mark talked about a way yesterday of meeting people at the bank and what he would do, and we talked about various things. But let me get into this, Mark. We have about 5 minutes. I want to talk about this for a minute. I talked about this yesterday. I've asked these questions. What are you doing? Are you really trying to get, or are you trying to give? It's really hard when you're struggling to get ahead to be thinking about giving. How would you get the result by not focusing on getting or receiving? And we know that's a principle that, those things come back to you when you give. But it's hard to focus when you're not making money, right? Or you're not going ahead the way you should be, to say, I'll just go help somebody else. My dad used to say that to me all the time. If I got in a mental rut, he'd say, go help somebody. And I never really understood it. Go find out. Why don't you go to a nursing home and see if you can assist somebody today? So I would do it. I would go to my grandmother's and see what I could do. And yeah, you feel good helping people. It doesn't put money in your pocket the way it would if you actually made a sale right that second, obviously. But giving equals receiving, bottom line. So that's really a question for you. Are you focusing on that? And you have to start focusing on educating yourself so that you can help others, and it'll help you along the way. You'll be getting educated. Mark listens to the presentation every single day. I know he does. Sometimes he says, I got to go. I'm going to go turn on the presentation. And he listens to it all the time. So do I. Just to keep hearing it and hearing it. I've been listening to it since I wrote it. So it's just been crazy going over. So, this book, I don't know if it's still available. I really don't know. It's called Copycat Marketing 101. How to Copycat Your Way to Wealth by Burke Hedges, author of the Who Stole the American Dream. So let me read this for you. I read this to Mark yesterday, and I said, Mark, listen to does this sound like us or what? Does this sound like, I've had this book a long time. I have a number of marketing books. This is a tiny little pocket book. I mean, it's really thin. It's a nice reminder of what you should be doing. So let me read this. You hear me okay, Mark? I'm a little away from my mic right now. You all right?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Here's what it says. If you don't like your results, change your approach. This is the introduction to the book. There are two things needed these days. First, for rich people to find out how poor people live. And second, for poor people to find out how rich people live. John Foster. One of my favorite business stories is about a middle-aged manager struggling to pay his bills. So he decides to get some advice from a financial expert. the manager makes an appointment to meet with a well-respected financial advisor whose office was located in a swanky building on Park Avenue. The manager enters the expert's elegantly appointed reception room, but instead of a receptionist, the manager is greeted by two doors. One marked employed and the other marked self-employed. He enters the door marked employed and is greeted by two more doors. One marked makes less than $40,000 and the other makes more than $30,000. He makes less than $40,000, so he enters that door, only to find himself face to face with two more doors. The door on the left is marked saves more than $2,000 a year, and the one on the right is marked saves less than $2,000 a year. The manager only has about $1,000 in his savings, so he enters the door on the right, only to find himself right back on Park Avenue. The same doors lead to the same results. It is painfully obvious that the manager in the story will never get out of his rut until he starts choosing to open different doors. The moral of the story is that most people are like the manager. They choose to enter the doors of life that lead them right back to where they started. The only way for people to get different results is to choose to enter different doors. Isn't that true? Like any of my mentors, like one of my mentors always used to say, if you continue to do what you've always done, you will continue to get what you've always gotten. Just like the manager in the story, most people are caught in a rut because they're trapped in an endless cycle of financial frustration. Just like the manager in the story, 95% of the workers in most industrialized countries are employed. They make less than $40,000 a year, and they save about $2,000 a year. At first glance, these figures look pretty impressive, especially to people who make less than $40,000. But the truth is, 95% of the people in the world aren't getting ahead. They're just getting by. Take a look at the financial condition of the average U.S. citizen at age 65. And it goes on to show a little chart, a little circle, a pie cut up, and it shows that 54% are financially dependent on others, 5% are still working, 4% are financially independent, 1% is wealthy, and 36% have passed away. How about you? Are you opening financial doors that will lead you to becoming a 95%er? Or are you opening doors that will lead you to the financial independence or even wealth, like the 59%ers? I'm sorry, like the 5%ers, sorry. I got to believe that most people want more for themselves, more for their families, than being dead broke, or still working to make ends meet by age 65. I got to believe that if more people understood the full benefits of being a 5%er, there would be a lot more people choosing to open different doors in their lives. Now, we'll stop there. Be careful of the direction you're going. You might end up where you're headed. That's why we teach that. That's where it came from. Not the particular statement, but this is what Safford taught us for years, and Art Williams, is to open different doors. Stop saying what you've been saying. You're not going to make it that way. Stop conducting yourself that way. When I sat down, Mark, with Bob Safford, the day he interviewed the mayor of Philadelphia to work in a network marketing company like Primerica, I couldn't believe my ears, because I thought it would be different when he talked, because I sat in on many of his interviews, learning what he said to people, which is exactly what we teach on the back end of a three-way conversation when the director arrives to be the interviewer. Safford face-to-face was a lot more detailed. There were a lot more questions and more dialogue. because they were face to face, and he would tell them, put your ego in your back pocket. Put everything aside. Brag about yourself. That's the words he used to say. Brag about yourself. Tell me about your accomplishments. And he would let them know he wasn't sure whether he wanted them or not. And he did exactly the same thing to the mayor of Philadelphia. Had a whole entourage on our complex. He was still the mayor, but wanting to know what he was going to do when he was done. And that was one of his options. Once somebody had introduced him to Primerica. And that's how he conducted himself. And that day was the day I said, oh my gosh, I'm not talking to anybody any differently. I need to conduct myself professionally, no matter who's in front of me. I don't care if somebody tells me they have 1,000 people to bring with them tomorrow and sign on the dotted line. Doesn't matter to me. I want to know who they are. I want to know if they're telling me what they're telling me is the truth. And the only way you're going to know that Art would say, is put the shoulder pads and helmet on and put them on the field. But don't treat them any different just because they tell you they're special. They tell you they have lots of people that are going to come aboard. Look, I've heard that so many times in 22 years. I've heard it from my upline. He's going to bring this guy. He's going to bring that guy. And they turn into nothing. I've done it myself, thinking I'm going to bring that big guy who's, I've known for years, who's going to be so excited and bring him over to a certain upline. And, to find out that the upline, not my direct upline, but other uplines, are taking those people secretly away from me. And then them working with them, and guess what? They don't go anywhere anyway. That's happened. I don't treat them any differently. And that's what we have to learn here, is how to be different first about what you've been doing, and then don't change your tactics unless you need an adjustment. But open different doors now. It amazes me, Mark, the amount of people that have been to the Breakfast Club, they've been to the class, they heard about it, and they come in, and I have testimonials from people who are so excited after the class and so on, they're going to change and going to change. And of course, as Bob said, most people are addicted to mediocrity, so they're back on that other road because it's easier. It's easier to stay the same. But as George Foreman always said, is, hey, I'm afraid of staying the same. I'm not afraid of change. But most people are afraid of that change. We have to conduct ourselves professionally. That's what this website is all about. It's about looking professional, acting professional, speaking professionally, and getting your people to follow that pattern. It's not an easy task. We have been indoctrinated into an industry that have taught people to chase people around and beg them, and you one more thing, let me show you another video, oh, buy it this way, 12-week play, all this stuff. Instead of teaching people how to conduct themselves and show them that tortoise and the hare race, so to speak. Doesn't have to be quick all the time. You have to be efficient in what you do. But the end result should be that you're educated, you know how to talk to people, you know those scripts, you know how to answer questions, and you know how to move them to a director who should know how to spend a few minutes with them and find out if they're right for us, and let's move them forward, register, get them into a management training program, and let's see if they follow the rules. So we'll talk more about this copycat marketing because it goes on to talk about copying the right people. And I believe this is the right people, Mark. I think our presentation, although no longer than a live one, we all know you get on a presentation, they're at least a half hour. So, yes, we put it together at a 30, 35-minute clip, but it's necessary to see the approach, to see what we're telling people, to be able to change your financial future, change your life, change your habits. Take a look, readjust your finances, readjust this and that. Purchase gold, of course. Back yourself up with a plan. Mark, I spoke to a banker yesterday. I had some banking issues I had to take care of, and sitting down with this young banker, I had showed him before while I was there. I'd laid my card on the desk to him, and he's all excited, and we had just lost contact. And it's amazing the little bit you say, and maybe just show them that card, the interest that comes up. He was astounded that that gold was sitting in that card. And guess what? We spent about a minute on that topic because he has my email address, I have his, and we're communicating today. Not the whole deal, and I've been with friends who've gone out in public, and I'm standing there watching them talk for 5 minutes about gold and the precious metals and why they should have it and how our company works, and we did, you know, and I know I have to laugh at it because it's just, it's not the way to do this. To sit there and give a presentation to the receptionist or to the salesperson in the store. Change and start going through a different door. Here's the process. You register at Karatbars. You register at Tools Rock. You go to the training room by entering your back office training, team training room, and typing in the vault. The vault. You go into your training room. You see the steps to getting your system set up in Karatbars. You see the steps in getting your marketing set up. You get your marketing funnels. You get your leads into the system. If you don't have leads, I mean, if you're not using a lead company, get leads from somewhere. I don't care where you get them. Get them free, put them into the system, and then go educate yourself about how these people like Victor and Gunter are out on the social media network, and we're going to teach more about that. On how to get out there and what market. What is that? Putting your information in front of people. That's what it is. The other part will come. If you educate yourself properly, they will follow you as someone who has courage, someone who stands up and says, I know what I'm doing. They're not going to follow you if you're fumbling around. I had a great conversation with Robert Frank yesterday and his expertise. He actually took the class yesterday along with Daryl. And we had a talk afterwards about his background, which fortunately the class was right in tune with what he had been taught, some things and other things that, you know, helped him and changed some things. But the one thing he talked about was the hesitation and gaps and how he was taught in other communication programs and marketing educational programs that you can't leave gaps there. You can't hesitate. You do that, and the minute you do that, you have lost your prospect. That's why it's important to memorize the process, to make sure you know where you're going and know who you are in the process, not get caught up with questions that you're not supposed to be answering, but answer them correctly. Sure, not a problem. We're going to get that information to you. That's why we have our training classes. So would Wednesday be good or Thursday be better for you? If you can do that like that, you've accomplished the communication process, and you'll have people following you. So I'm excited about what's going on. I got to get these few changes done very quickly. If I can hopefully get them done right now, I don't know. But we'll get them, and if not, they will be there by tomorrow morning, I promise you. I am working directly with Jennifer, who is now working directly with those people online as we speak on Skype, and we're changing things in seconds now instead of putting requests in and getting them back 8 hours later and finding mistakes. We're doing it right on the spot. I'm a little surprised that those 2 mistakes are sitting there because they weren't that way when we left last night. So we'll get to the bottom of that. So be patient. One more day, it looks like, and we'll have them fixed today. Okay, so with that, Mark, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you for everybody for listening, and, you know, get yourself in gear here.
Okay.
Go back to your scripts. Go study. Go to the presentation and study. But in the meantime, go find a new person.
Keep in mind, it is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Look over the next year what you can accomplish. You have the tools. You have the systems. You have the classes, you have everything that we need now that a newbie, and everybody knows what a newbie is. When a newbie comes in, they can get in business today. In 24 to 48 hours, they can go real far. It's just a matter of being willing to accept change. Like I say, without change, there's no progress. Outside of the box. And what I mean by that, don't get boxed in. Don't get boxed in by the old methods that weren't right in the first place. So that's all we have to do is concentrate on that. And again, get your leads, get your tools, and just think about one person a month. If you're getting one person a month and then you're teaching that system to your affiliates that you bring in, that you're working with, and they do that, the duplication takes place, just think of what it's going to look like in a year. And like I asked you the other day, how do you see the next year? In other words, if the next year was like the last year, do you see yourself getting ahead or getting behind? We know where we're going to be. We're going to be ahead and far ahead. We're going to leave behind. So with that being said, peace and blessings to you. Go out and make it a great day. As Joe said, talk to somebody. Share with somebody. And I'll tell you what, people that have checking accounts, savings accounts, they need the proper account to protect those accounts. And guess what? Nobody has those accounts but you. Nobody has that information but you. So share it. If you share it, you will get results. So again, peace and blessings to you. Go out and make it a great day. Change somebody's career. Share, the city, county, state, and most of all, help us to make change in the world. Because I tell you, the world needs us. Our communities need us. There are things that's happening that make your head swim if you know a little something. Or if you don't know, it'll give you a headache. So let's see if we can relieve some of those headaches for people with what we have. We have the product, we have the company, we have the system, we have the communication, and guess what? We are professionals. And that's what they want to deal with. We're not multi-level marketing. We have some multi-level marketing concepts, but no, we are an e-commerce company like Amazon, someone like Amazon.com. Except for what we offer is precious metals. And we offer education. The most important thing is education. If you're educated, then you know how to do something with it, you can help a lot of people. Don't be an educated derelict, but be a person that shares the education. And then remember, tell me I'll hear, show me I'll see, get me involved, I'll understand. Let's get them involved. Let's understand this presentation, and let's make sure that they understand it so that they can change their lives. Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Mark Stevens for our host, Joe Shoup, saying make it a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning back here the first day of the week on the Breakfast Club. Make it a great day, everybody.